Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Monday, February 2nd, 2026. Trading Trends ETF edition, as they all are. Let's get right into it. The Turtle portfolio has executed some moves literally just minutes ago. You can see from the title of the video why I am shorting crypto and silver, and that's what I love about the system. You got to be agile, you go long, and then you go short based on the move. So I will show you what we got into here. Let's share the screen and we'll get right into it. Alrighty. Some things we were absolutely spot on. Look at the plunge. You'll see what I'm talking about in that gas. One weather day got to 30 degrees here, and you look at the plunge. But first of all, things first, airlines, big jump. Some of those individual movers, Delta, American, moving really, really high to the upside. You saw we did not invade Iran over the weekend. So oil down massively today. That always benefits airlines, cheaper fuel. Telecom, a big jump, a breakout in that group relatively. And India, finally, that thing has been an absolute dog. That had a big drop in nat gas. That is not a typo. Down a quarter of the value today. I signed off on Friday saying nat gas makes widow makers of us all. I would not be buying the breakout unless I see, definitely guilty until proven innocent. I need a week above the 200-day moving average. It did not get there, and they plunged it today, as I said was very likely to happen on Friday. I said this is very likely going to resolve lower. And then Ethereum and broader commodities absolutely plunge. I did just short Ethereum through ETHA. So I am short crypto. Tactically, I said it looks horrible. Ethereum under 2,600, and then it gap down today. And Bitcoin not doing well either. Broad commodities plunge, silver and gold, taking their foot off the gas for sure. And like I said, I also shorted silver. New all-time highs for XLC. I bought that. Again, Meta Google fund has been a great way to play mega cap tech and avoiding the tariff fiasco. So let's get into charts. Enough of that. The dashboard. Let me remember to properly share my screen here. Boopity bop. Where's the dashboard panel? Here we go. All right. So really fast before we get into the index, the Q's really doing well today. You got some broad indices doing very well. Q's up 1. I'll just fast forward to IWM up 1.33%, doing very well. NVIDIA had a bad morning, over an OpenAI deal, apparently, but it's kind of, rebound here, down only 0.5%. Still back to that critical 190 level. Tesla down 1.5%. Gold down 4% here. Silver down 6%. We'll take a look at the charts. The way Turtle system works is you basically take as many signals as you can on the 1 month breakout and the 1 month breakdown, and then you have a very tight stop. So I have a tight stop on this. I might be out of it by the end of the day with a very small loss. But right now, when I see that VWAP down where it is, folks are not very happy with their silver position. It is down 6% here. I will be sure, as I said, tactically, if I don't get stopped out today, I would think this holds with the Warsh liquidation through Friday. Or so. Microsoft down 1.25%. Apple up 2%, bucking the trend there. Google up 1.5%. IWM already mentioned. AMD a great up 5%. Meta down 1%. Amazon up 2.25%. Oracle up 2%, but it's having a lousy year. Palantir up 2%, having a lousy year. Robinhood a big drop down today, down 9%, down almost a fifth of the value this year after having a very good 2025. And that's, like I said, IBIT down 6%. We'll take a look at Ethereum closer. So here we go. Intraday chart right here at the opening bell. I know if you check the futures over the weekend, we always check crypto, how it trades over the weekend. It traded very, very terribly. I think Michael Saylor is down on his position now on MicroStrategies. We'll see. And I know like BitMiner through Tom Lee, they're all having a very, very rough time here. But as we go back to the index here, we'll get to the Ethereum chart later. So here's the open. And boy, like I said, the futures, they were selling all weekend. Not on the open, the first time liquidity actually exists, they gobbled up the futures. Okay, they took it to 690 to 692.5, and no looking back there, holding VWAP. Things look absolutely tremendous. And again, what I was looking for here on a fractal level here intraday, we got overbought. I wanted to see a breakout from that former area here, and I'll take it from the 28th. We get a breakout above the 698. What's that exact level? 698.30. And you are really going to be off to the races. You're going to see some expansion here, and then that will, coincide with new all-time highs for SPY. So, yeah, the metals are under pressure, but SPY is doing just fine, up 0.2% here. Volume is starting to dwindle. Maybe you have a little bit of a move, a little bit of consolidation towards 695, but I do see more, bullish afternoon ahead. Again, I'm doing this at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. As I zoom out, so here's SPY. I had said the bullish accumulation phase had begun on January 23rd. I said, go out and buy something, particularly in SPY. January 23rd, VWAP that day was 689. And then my target is right around that 702 mark. The highs were on January 28th, last week at 698. And like I said, I could see a bullishness here this afternoon going above that. So we'll see definitely how we close. But S&P looks fine. And it just also important to note, the day before I said that on the 23rd, go buy something. I like seeing that thrust above 50 RSI there. And we're still there now at 55 RSI. Things look great. You got a great looking candle on the day. VWAP on the day is 693.20. We're holding that. High of day 690, and we're 30 cents away from that. So that's a 1 year view. I see bullishness like this lasting for right up until either this Friday or Monday. I had, the charts going around, basically right around Super Bowl weekend here, either Friday or Monday for us to capture that. My target is still right around that. It's creeping up a little bit. I see potentially getting as high as 706. Okay, so that is $10 away or about 1.5%. So still see some decent bullishness. You're getting the VIX is getting clobbered today. So they're, don't let the metals move scare you. There are good things happening underneath the hood. All-time highs for, I think, Gilead, Johnson & Johnson. Healthcare is looking decent. We'll take a look at some important charts. So that is pretty much it. Like I said, some bullishness for the next week or so, ending on or around Friday or Monday. I am looking for a piercing and a thrust of that 700 level, big round psychological number, which the street loves. And I think that's where we are going to go. And then after that, basically like into late February, probably just a drawdown to about 690. Here's where my cursor is at 690. And then worst case, if they really actually hammer it, I'm still holding on to that 675. That's about it. We're probably not going to go beneath that. To me, the charts look very clean, believe it or not, given everything that's been going on in the marketplace. All righty, let us get to the big movers. Did I do this properly? Yes. All right. So screen still shared. Yes. Okay. So number one, we had talked about the airlines looking good. And of course, a direct, beneficiary of the big decline in oil today are the airlines. This group peaked on January 9th at right around 29.5, and then had a bit of a consolidation here. And here kind of looks like the candle from the S&P. Great looking move up 3.5% are the jets. JETS, jets, but not those jets. They stink. This looks great. The Charles system, buys 1 month breakouts, or in the longer system, 3 month breakouts. This is not truly a breakout. Whoops. Let me move that box so you can see. But for me, in terms of technical analysis, using my CMT, this looks like it's headed to $30. I think oil with the Iran news, not us going into war and whatnot, will benefit this group. And I do foresee new 52-week highs for the jets in the next 2 weeks. I think rotation is going to go into this. And I think you've already started seeing it going back about a week from this 28 handle. But this looks good. It's at basically 29 here. I think you have another $1 to go. So about, 3.5% for the airlines. Looks good here. Maybe you could do like a 29.30 March or Feb call spread. Check what's liquid, check what's, able to be actually being able to execute in the option chain without much slippage. But this looks good. Or you can just buy the outright ETF. And again, I'll do this if necessary for the folks that don't know. ATR on this is 60 cents times by 2. If you enter the position wherever you get in, I don't really care. If you're down to $1.20, get out. Don't become a hope trader, because you should prepare to go broke. That's it. That's all there is. And upside target, 30 even. Next, IYZ. Telecom, a big day. Verizon had some blow-off moves. AT&T recently. This is 52-week high. This chart almost looks like gold here, minus this purgatory from the first week of April, or the first couple weeks of April here. This has been a very sharp rise. Obviously, note the scaling on this, right? So Telecom doesn't move massively. This is a major move up 1.3% for Telecom. And again, overbought, breakout above the former area, off into the races. They're going to buy first, ask questions later. It's as simple as that. Anything that stands out to here, like the Jets, I will look at the Jets. Lately, I've been checking the options and for many positions. And why I love the turtle system, honestly, I'll speak Richard Dennis's praises again, is the options lately have just not been worth the squeeze, to be honest with you. So I'll check it after I get off this video. But back to IYZ. Couple more days of bullishness. My target for this is around 35.5. So I wouldn't personally chase this here. Also, a group like this typically does not get multiple upper Bollinger Band closes. So don't love to see that. But again, it's a 79 RSI. They're going to buy first, ask questions later. See where this closes. The high is 36.5. VWAP is 36.21. It's essentially there now. I want to see where this goes, but I do think this consolidates over the next 2 to 3 weeks back to about 34 quarter to 34.5. That looks clear to me. So maybe sell calls, but again, this is IYZ with a 31 cent ATR. If you want to buy the breakout, do the math with me, kindergartners, 62 cents, you get out. That's it. All right, that's IYZ. And the next one, this thing has been a dog. I'm looking at you, India. This thing has been an absolute, we started talking about this after Thanksgiving. Just did not like the way the chart was looking. And now we're above 50 RSI for the first time since basically the beginning of the year, since Jan 7th. And this is a ridiculous candle, up 2.7%. Look at this. This has gotten all the way back to Jan 15. This is about almost 3 weeks of trading in one candle today. So again, sometimes the market gives you a lot in a little. Sometimes it gives you a little in a lot, if that makes sense. And if you're trading, it does. This looks good for here. I think you have another, probably the rest of this week for bullishness in India until it hits that mark. It sells a rising 200-day moving average. I think this gets to 54 even, and then that is the break. Very curious to see how this closes. This is a monster candle, up 3% for India, but it has been just an absolute dog. No one's looked at it, essentially, since January 8th, just selling every day, essentially. But this looks good. I say you have another 85 cents for this. You could... India options are not super liquid, especially if you go near dated, but you could probably do like a 53, 54 half call spread. Again, the HR, this is 41 cents. Get in today if you'd like. If you're down 82 cents on the position, get out. Okay. I want you to educate this for your, calculate this for yourself. And it will protect your shirt. You're going to lose a very small amount of your portfolio if you follow those rules and you just don't watch it and become a hope trader. So that is India, and that's what they're gobbling up today. Jets off the back of oil declining, Telecom on a big boom in individual constituents there, and India, a massive 3% move, being magnetized to its 200-day moving average, which it has not seen in almost 3.5 weeks. What are they selling? And oh my gosh, it felt like a summer day today when it was 31 degrees, which last I checked is still freezing Fahrenheit. Natural gas, I had said this on Friday. I'm not going to pat myself on the back too much, but I want to see at least a week of closes above here and a rising 200-day. It got so close. And this is where you really have to have a system in place. It got look at the high on December 5th, $17. Look at the high the other day, 1702. That's a high. You buy it, right? Yeah, technically, that's where you stick with your ATR here, okay? So if you were to buy that breakout on Friday, whatever, the ATR for UNG, of course, it's a volatile one, on a $12 stock is 57 cents. Once you're down right around $1.15, and last I checked, $4.40 is a lot more than $1.15. You didn't have to lose this 26% unless it gapped down on you hard on Monday morning versus Friday. Then yeah, that's tough. And that's one of the things I'm watching carefully for my silver short, because these things gap, and then you see how it does with the the morning pull, if it goes the same way or the other way. Natural gas, I said this has begun here from this amazing move on January 16th. When rubber bands get too stretched one way, you can slingshot it absolutely the other way. David hitting Goliath style. This move started at 10 all the way to 17. That is a massive move, almost a double in 2 weeks, and you're going to look for more? I don't think so. Trees don't go to the sky, and that's why you have that vomit here, similar to what you saw in silver, down a quarter of value. You're down a quarter of value now in natural gas. What happens here? I actually think this is an ugly candle. This is surprising me of just how weak it's been. The VWAP on the day is 1307. So you're beneath that by what is that, 58 cents or just 5% alone right there. So they don't want it today. The thing is, the weather here on the East Coast, I think it's actually supposed to be decent. So sad that I'm saying that, but it's in the 30s all week. None of this 5 below crap. So that I like. This is going to likely go lower. I'm looking at this more correcting possibly in time in addition to price. My level for this is right around, obviously you get massive vol expansion here, hence why you saw, you see this blue shaded area go much higher in both directions. And it got to Kembe today off the 200 moving average. That's a 1420 here in UNG. And I talked about it last thing on this on the video, I think on Wednesday or Tuesday of last week. I had said this is very likely in terms of the nat gas contract hit 325 by President's Day, Valentine's Day weekend. And I texted my buddy who's a nat gas guy. Excuse me. I said, let's see how smart or dumb I am. And like I said, sometimes the market does a lot in a little, and it gave much of it back in one day. So you can see where discounts come in, where premiums come in. And that's what, to me, looks like the nat gas chart. This thing looks headed to about, to be honest with you, I have like 10.5 for a level here. So I will look at the options on this or just outright shorting the stock. But I think this has quite a ways to go, another $2 or about 13%-ish. Nat gas looks like it's on the way down. And again, 47 RSI, sellers are in control. You're going to sell first, ask questions later, especially on a piece of crap asset like this. All right, next one. I just shorted this, full disclosure. This is Ethereum. Ethereum is down, last when I wrote this, down 12%. It is still there. That is ugly right here. You were oversold in Ethereum for the first time since the prior 52-week lows of the S&P when they sold everything and asked questions later. And again, Ethereum peaked back in the very warm days of late August here at nearly $37. And now we're $17, more than half reduction. I thought things looked decent to start 2026 as it held a 50 RSI. The 200 moving average was going up, and it still is. Although if it stays here, is going to stop very soon. So for me, this is a tactical trade. I'm not saying I'm shorting Ethereum and this is going to crater till $9. But when you're under 30 RSI, they sell first and ask questions later. It's simple as that. To me, this bearish distribution phase started on, because we've been talking about how weak Ethereum had been. January 16th is when this started. So again, I'm trusting the turtle system. And that was the last time we were above the 200-day moving average, by the way. So that to me was right here. Typically a 15-ish day cycle. You can get extreme, kind of like the rubber band example I was just talking about with nat gas. Looks like similar to Ethereum, but then you have this gap down here. And it's outside the lower Bollinger Band. I don't think the selling is done yet. And again, this has been 50 RSI. A lot of things changed for Ethereum on Jan 20th, right around there, Jan 23rd. There was a significant breakdown in Ethereum. Does still have a rising 200-day moving average, which is why I gave, a dog a bone like India. And then now it's, trying to get there. But what's happening with India, going back to that, it's probably going to be magnetized to a 200-day moving average, get the Kembe and go right back down. For Ethereum, I think this is going to base, I can't believe we're looking at a 17 handle. If you watch the video from last week, I said this has about 20 to 21 written all over it. Probably lost some subscribers because I was like a crypto hater, whatever. Cool. Hello. To see a 17 handle, that's horrendous. So this will have very likely, and hopefully I'll get out. Like I said, I have my 2 ATR stop. On this one, it's $1.21. You can enter it here on a short. If it moves against you by 242, which is what I'm doing, then you get out. It's as simple as that. And then you right size the position, of course, because it's volatile as hell. Looks like it's going to have a death cap bounce to about, this is the bad news, 22.5 to 23. I don't think it's going to get to that 200 moving average. And that's the bad news, because by the time it does get to 22.5, 23, this is going to start rolling over, and algos from hedge funds, Millennium, Citadel, they don't look to bottom feed on crap like that. That's portfolio heat. Not interested. That is weakness. We look at relative strength, weakness, and in absolute terms as well. And this looks like crapola, hence my short. All right, so that's Ethereum. And I gave you all the rules on it. So I'm looking for lower lows here. And so this is important level where it is because we are coinciding right here with those June 23rd low of they're getting very close to it, believe it or not. And last thing on this, if you up on the day, 1757, it's just reclaimed it, but we'll see how it trades at the end of the day. I might be out of this, like I said, by the end of the day. We shall see. And I picked Ethereum, obviously, over Bitcoin, I bet, because this looks extremely weak. Next, what are they hammering today? Besides nat gas and Ethereum, commodities. So this is oil with the big plunge, as I said. And of course, this is diversified commodity basket. So this has metals, this has the oil, grains, etc. This hit highs January 29th at 15 quarter. Okay, look at these upper Bollinger Band closes. Literally, this picture I see here, it's like a children's book. Trees don't go to the sky. And that's what happened here. So for this group, 15 quarter, just a few short days ago, boom, 1390, and this is one of the ugliest candles you can imagine right here. We are down 4% today. VWAP is 1397. It's underneath that. And look at that rejection. It actually traded 1411 this morning, and they said, no, thanks. And you were overbought here, 81 RSI, and now you're 48 RSI. That looks like an exit stage left to me. No one wants this right now. And this is the market repricing Kevin Warsh as the new Fed chair is one part of it. It's not striking me Rand. He's kind of a dollar bull, which is why you're seeing the dollar have an advantageous move today. And I said on Friday it was going to have legs for at least the rest of the week. Hence why I'm not going to rush out and buy the metals today. Hence why I actually did the opposite and shorted it. So this looks bad. The PDBC basket looks like it's still going south. I don't see a stop for this. This candle makes absolute sense, to be honest. This still has a ways to go. I think this heads to... I don't think the 200-day moving average will be in jeopardy. It actually has not been since October 21st. We are under 50 RSI. I think this goes a little bit to about 13.5. So you have maybe like another 40 cents to go. It's not going to feel good. But I don't think these commodities feel the love for the next... Tactically, it looks like another 2 weeks. And in terms of the price floor, like I said, another 40 cents or so, about 3% to the downside. All right, so that's the downside today. They are hammering nat gas, Ethereum, and commodities, and they're gobbling up Airlines, Telecom, and India. Top three gainers of the past 5 days. So what have they been crushing from the first half of this session, plus the other 4.5? Your number one leader, and this is important. That's why I do these, because things do change. Your number one leader over the past 5 days, regional banks. Remember this group? Oh my gosh, you wake up and there's bad loans and blah, 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 blah. It's noise, so much noise. The group peaked on January 22nd with an ugly looking candle, I do say so, at 71 quarter. And look at that. We're right back there, essentially right here at 70. And to be honest, this was the horrible period at New Year's Eve. We got to 46 RSI, and that was it. This group has traded above 45 RSI, okay, since Thanksgiving. That is a great trend. We're in February, all right? So this looks great. The KRE, it's your number one leader in the past 5 days, averaging, it's up 4% over the past 5 days, or just under 1% a day. I love accumulations here, and a great entry is 67.5 to 68 if you're lucky. Obviously, you don't have the opportunity here. My upside target is 70... right around 71 quarter. So that is the 52-week high, 71.27. So I do think we tango with that over the next 2 to 3 weeks. If you're in regional banks, I think you're going to be happy. And I think if you get a better entry, you're going to be even happier. Okay. And this is one of the reasons why the S&P is holding up, and obviously small caps are kicking butt today. Your number two leader are semiconductors. You're not going to be screwed with S&P. I had a trader text me and say, oh, so what do you think the downside is in SPY? I said, you're going to be just fine. We're 50 bips from new all-time highs. Breathe, bruh, breathe. So here are the SOXX. It's not just NVIDIA. This group peaked all-time highs on January 29th at basically 364. You're down $10 from that, up 2.5% today. A very decent day. Don't doubt Micron and these firms that are just absolutely executing, and they're sold out for 2 years. Okay, that's what you get in this SOXX basket. This is a tough one. So in terms of charting, because just looking at where it is here, so very, very strong since mid-December, since basically that Fed meeting prior, the mid-December one. Very strong. I like accumulations here if you're able. It's going to be tough, but the low today, for example, is 338. That's where I'd much rather dance with this, unless you're going to do a buy breakout system, at which point the ATR is 475. Again, around $9-10. If you are down on it, get out. It's a $350 stock. So $10 may sound, don't get, into denominator blindness. I love entries though, if you're able around that 337 to 340 area. I'm giving it 1% range, and my target is around 362. And in terms of, the next 2 weeks, the chart looks a little messy for me in terms of, trying to navigate, like jets. Oh, I see a good period. Nat gas looking like it's going to be bad. This one's a little bit more like a potentially stop and go, but today they're loving it. So if that makes sense. All right. And it's your second best trade of the week after regional banks, looking at the last 5 days. And then number 3, can't shake South Korea. Today, it's down 1%. It's actually trying to rally. This thing is still overbought at 70.5 RSI. It's been overbought all year. Forgive me, since the 5th. Okay, that is ridiculous. Okay, and again, same thing. That's what I've been telling you guys. Breakout above the former area with overbought registration. Just buy first, ask questions later. It doesn't even matter. That was at 101 and took you to 126 in a Geo ETF. It's not supposed to move like that. Okay, this is Samsung absolutely just dominating in the high foundry bandwidth memory circuit. So for this, I would still let this cool off. It's starting to cool off, as you can see here. I think it's going to stop being overbought soon. VWAP on the day is 120. It gathered that quickly. This thing's just absolute behemoth. Personally, though, and I do want to anchor or make this a part of the total portfolio, I'm looking for 113 for my entry, 113 to 114. So that is, $7 off. So I will keep a very, very close eye for that over the next week, maybe the end of the week. And my target, again, is right around 120. So this thing got way too hot. Hasn't puked away, silver and the metals have, because again, this is more so Samsung and Hynix. So you got 40% of this basket in tech, playing it, in a different way. And again, dollars rallying, so you're going to have other foreign assets go lower. A-share China ETF hit 1 month lows today. So be aware of that. All right, so dominating the past 5 days, regional banks, semiconductors, and South Korea. How's that for diversification? Great looking basket if you own that. Losers of the past 5 days, no repeating in charts. If I already covered it, I'm not going to waste my breath here, considering I don't breathe when I do these shows. Worst trade on the board over the past 5 days is silver, averaging down 27% over the past 5 days for an average of 5+% a day. This was one of the reasons why I entered the short today. That trend is not over. These candles look ugly. Look at this one today. VWAP is 71.41. They said no thank you by $2. This likely goes lower. The one thing I am very interested in is the RSI is only, the last time it was lower than this is we were at 52-week lows in silver, okay? It was at $27. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm talking about the momentum and the direction that is occurring here in silver. So what I still said from before, give this till about Super Bowl weekend, like truly like Friday, Monday, when you're putting together your box bets and parlays and all that. Seahawks are going to win, by the way, I'm pretty sure. But this looks like I want to stay away from it, through Friday or Monday. If you have the really crazy FOMO, maybe you get in Friday. But this looks like it could plunge to about $64. So a little bit more. 60, I'd be surprised. But I think this has a little bit more to go, to the tune of another $5. You got to see these candles get smaller. You got to see the volatility contract, not huge drops each time, like the elevator. What was that ride at Disney World? The whatever of doom. You don't want to see this dropping like this every day, because then I'll be right by tomorrow. This will be $64 if so. Hence why I entered my short on this. All right, next, and I'm getting some repeats. Number 2 worst trade on the board, and this was another short. Ethereum down 18% over the past 5 days, or an average of 4-ish% a day. That, again, to me is momentum leading, and that is just horrendous when you were basically tussling with, 8-month lows. No bueno. And oversold for the first time since the prior 52-week low. So that is Ethereum. I'm not going to kick a dead horse on that. And lastly, the worst thing, third worst thing that they've been selling in the past week is GDXJ, down 15% over the past 5 days, or an average of 3% a day. Oh, look at that. Down 1.5%, slightly better looking handle. It's still outside of VWAP on the day. This group is absolutely, if you remember what I've been saying from the past year. This is a top 3 performer. You can't shake this thing. Obviously, silver is the year-over-year performer, hence why we're doing tactical trades. This looks like very close to being flushed. This looks close. If you get out of all the groups on Friday for the FOMO, before Super Bowl weekend, if you had to get in one, I'd prefer GDXJ. Again, the chart, they haven't been thinking about selling this. These guys are printing money, a beta play on gold, as of course the labor costs have not rose and the metal itself has soared significantly year over year and then some. So give this very few days. I love setups under 132. And I know you're like, oh, it's 122. Why not buy it now? Because of momentum. This thing could go lower before it goes higher, simply put. Possibly this one targets 113. If you get the setup at 113, I think you can take it towards the second half of this week, Wednesday, Friday. Don't forget, we have non-farm payrolls on Friday. We have, I believe, Google earnings. We have a lot of important earnings today. Disney was this morning, so the market is repricing a lot of things. And again, lowest RSI for this group since November 4th, election day for the gold miner juniors. I think this one's almost done consolidating. If you're lucky to get at 113, that would be amazing. But I do like setups under 132. Look at this congestion of moving averages here at the aforementioned 131, 132 price level. My price target for this is right around 150. We'll keep it clean. To be exact, my level is, it's like 149.5, but the prior high is 152.25. I think we go inside of that, and that'll probably take us another 2 to 3 weeks, the gold miner juniors. So in recap, best 3 trades of the past 5 days, they're all shorts. We got 2 extended. All the 3 trades, there's no, long this. No, the best 3 trades of the past 5 days have been short silver, short Ethereum. So short silver, it's been a superstar, up 200+% year over year. Take a little, off the top. It's okay. Ethereum, a dog, new 8-month lows, no bueno. So they're shorting strength, they're shorting weakness, and then another strength through the GDXJ is your third. All right, I thought this has been helpful. I did a lot of trades. Probably gonna do a couple more. Like I said, I'm gonna look at those jets and maybe even India, and we will talk to you on Wednesday. Peace.